are living in the kitchen.
Winn-Dixie.
That's right, baby, and we're getting a taste of some Ecuadorian cuisine with co-owners of Chancho. We've got Jason Spencer and Francois Castro, so thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, I have to say, I have been hearing such great things when I was telling people that you guys were going to be on the show, and I have not tried your food yet. I mentioned it's Ecuadorian, so before we get into cooking, describe Chancho King and what you guys offer.
So Chancho King is very, very complex in its sense. The word itself comes from an indigenous word from our corner of South America, which means pork. But Chancho as a company is like a forever loving thing. We're trying to give to our community, we're trying to feed our family, nourish our souls.
Oh, I love that. Bring in we're included in the family.
100%.
Is that's what you want to make us feel like, right?
Yeah.
So what are we making today?
All right, so right now we're gonna focus here, and it's gonna be the ceviche.
Okay.
Our ceviche is very traditional, like Ecuadorian cuisine. So it's gonna have some of our beautiful octopus.
I literally was going to ask, is that octopus? I just noticed the little, like, you can see kind of the little suckers.
Yes.
They're
So
chopped
that's how
up
you know
nicely,
it's
though.
real good,
Now, is
right?
this edible right now? Can I try a
100%,
piece?
yeah, please. So we brace it. We brace it for approximately 3 hours, and then we let it cool down in all that liquid. So it gets
That's
super,
really flavorful.
super correct.
Wow.
A lot of salt, that's the secret.
Ah, I like salt.
All right, and then we also have shrimp, as well as some cured fish.
Wow, you mix a lot of seafood together.
So
I like
again,
that.
this is mixed dough, so we're just incorporating a lot of different flavors and kind of really layering it all up.
Okay.
So with that said, we have our proteins in the bottom, and then I'm gonna actually move forward.
Okay.
And some fresh tomatoes. Yeah. That kind of adds another layer of, again, like acidic, kind of playing with textures as well.
Okay.
And then we also have our beautiful hierbita, which is just a mixture of cilantro and scallions. Again, just developing another layer, adding some fresh notes to it. And then let's actually add the broth. We have our nice little pitcher here that we got.
Yeah, what kind of broth do you use?
So this is a traditional leche de tigre, which is composed, it's actually heavier than I thought. So it's actually gonna be some of the bracing liquid that we have from the octopus, some of the cured fish that we have, we blended in with a lot of salt, lime, cilantro, a little bit of chilies in there. And we create this beautiful, super acidic, but fresh and light. And we add that. We add some of these pickled red onions that we're really, really infamous about. They're super beautiful.
I love pickled red onions. I'm gonna grab one of those too.
A lot of salt and lime. That's kind of like the motif that we got going on. We're gonna add some fresh avocado.
Yum.
I'm actually gonna add a little bit more lime if that's okay. Boom. And then this is our hot sauce.
Yeah, they asked, how do I like it spicy? Our viewers know I'm not super huge on spice.
However, our thing is usually like, you'll kind of still love yourself after it. So we're only gonna put a little bit of it.
But will I love you after it is the question. I'm sure I will. I think I'm gonna be licking my lips because this is already so good.
All right. And then the last thing to really, really kind of make it authentic Ecuadorian is something called hippie hapa. Hippie hapa is just gonna be a salsa de maní that we make. So it's peanuts.
Okay.
So that's kind of like really kind of niche Ecuadorian. And we're just gonna put a nice dollop in there. All that. Usually we serve that in these beautiful trays with chifles. Chifles are just going to be fried plantains, and they have to be green to kind of really create a nice savory dish.
Oh man, this is beautiful. Yeah, so how do you cut these just really thin? How do you actually prepare these?
So back in the day when we first started out, way back,
Get them all by hand.
we did it all by hand.
Yeah.
A lot of
Really?
sweat,
Oh, a lot of
tears.
just
His
grinding
dog
away.
Peppa would just be over there wondering what we were doing. But now we actually have a little bit of a machine that helps us out.
That's
and kind of
cool.
spews it
And you just
right
put them
into
in
the
oil,
fryer.
or how
Shoots
do
it
you?
right in the fryer.
Into the
yeah.
fryer.
Really?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Fry it until it's crispy, and then we season it by hand.
Yum.
Correct.
All right, so I know you said you serve it this way, but how do
Correct.
I eat it?
However,
Like a soup?
You can mix,
That's
I'd say
the
mix
beautiful
everything
part.
in
Oh,
together
mix some
and
in there?
tear it in. You
All right.
throw
There's
a couple
usually
chips
one
in
more
there.
step,
Yeah.
but unfortunately we don't have it. It's
Okay.
popcorn.
Wait, like actual movie theater
Beautiful,
popcorn?
beautiful. Well, not necessarily movie theater, but it is popcorn. We add it in the mix. That way you can have like all these lovely textures and salt and lime and all these
Interesting.
different things. Yeah.
This is outstanding.
Right?
And the
Might
perfect
be
amount of
biased.
spice.
Right.
Love to
I
hear
can
it.
handle
Love
it.
to
Put
hear
it on one corner so that way we can kind of decipher how much we want.
I love the mix of seafood. Now, if you were to describe Ecuador, because I don't know if I've ever actually had Ecuadorian food.
Correct.
So how would you describe not just your menu, but that type of food, I guess.
It mostly kind of correlates, like when people think of Ecuador, people think of like the Galapagos, right? That's like our kind of key tourist attraction, but we have so much more, right? So we have that entire coast, as well as like the highlands, is what they're called, right?
yeah.
And we also have a strong presence of like indigenous people. So it kind of like, kind of varies. You get a lot of seafood, but then you also get a lot of soups and a lot of stews. We're infamous for having multiple courses in one sitting.
Oh, okay.
So usually my mom or my father, who's actually the cook, would make a soup, a caldo, and then we would transition into like a smaller, lighter meal as well. Or like
Okay.
a seco or stew, estofado, all those different things that we kind of kick in.
And you got a lot to offer then at Chancho King, right?
100%,
Tell everyone where you're located.
So we are actually located in Edgewood. That's in Murray Hill. If you just kind of follow that path, we'll be right there. We have that big Ecuadorian flag out front and that big neon Chancho logo up there, so you can't really miss us.
1120 Edgewood Avenue South.
All right. What started as a food truck has evolved organically into a brick and mortar and a big business that's thriving. Like I said, I've only heard great things. This is outstanding. I'm going to have to toss it over to David, but we're going to have a part 2, and you're going to be making what in that?
Cocado de camarón.
Oh, all right. So stay tuned for that, David.